Hello guys, and welcome to another map first impressions video. Today we're going to take a look at a map called Dutch Biesbosch version 2.0.5, and this map can be found over at the fsuk.com website. This map, according to the description on the website, is a recreation of real life location, the National Park of Dutch Biesbosch, and I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I basically went up on Google and searched that and searched pronunciation, and that's what it sounded like to me. So if I'm not pronouncing that right, I'm sorry. But it basically says this is a unique freshwater delta of 8,000 hectares with a lot of small rivers and streams, but also many farms. So on this map, you have the main farm with cows and chickens. There's a sheep farm, a pig farm, biogas facility, a livestock, sawmill, a garden shop where you can sell eggs, manure, and compost, and a couple large forestry areas. So let's go ahead and jump on in and take a look. So we're going to deselect everything but our John Deere Gator, and let's check the log as we come into the map. So you can see we have compost as a fill type. You'll notice we do have a little bit of water sound there as the map loads, and there you go. No errors other than the water sound. So we start here, and as you can see, we start with 2 Case IH harvesters and several tippers. And here we start on our main farm. So let's take a look at the map itself. So we have a total of 37 fields, it looks like, and we own several fields all over the map. Before we get to that though, let's see, we have our standard crop types here. Let's take a look and see what kinds of fields we own. So starting in the upper left and working our way clockwise, we own field 1, field 20, field 23, field 15, field 27, field 36, and field 35. So you can see we own several fields all around the map. There are several fields of various shapes and sizes. We do own 2 grass fields from the start. And here is the large forestry area. There's another forestry area over here. And there's a bit of forestry down here in this corner by the sheep area. So we do these videos on hard mode. So on hard mode we start with 0 crops, as you can see. And here is compost, is the added crop type here. So we have several sell points that purchase various items. We have this particular sell point here. I'm not going to try to pronounce it, but it basically only buys potatoes. We have our compost sell point, which only buys compost. And then we have a couple main sell points here. Basically, we have 3 main sell points that purchase most of our crops. We have a fair bit of starting equipment. It's all fairly new as far as operating hours, and the hours is really what the game bases maintenance on. So our maintenance will be fairly low based on operating hours. So let's go ahead and take out some money, and we're going to go ahead and buy some animals on this map. Okay. And we start the map with 0 animals and nothing in the various feed trough areas. And our silo has a capacity of 100,000 liters. Okay. So let's take a look at our starting equipment. So we start with 4 tractors that range from 145 horsepower all the way up to 313 horsepower. We have our 2 Case IH harvesters. We have a 7130 and a 9620. find it interesting that we start out with two different size harvesters here and not two of the same. Then we have three headers. We have one corn header and two grain headers. We have a forage harvester with a chaff head. We have several tippers here. We have three tippers. And then we have some pretty basic starting equipment as far as our cultivator, plow, our seeder, and then we have our Vanderstand Rapid 600S seeder. Here we have our potato planter, fertilizer spreader, slurry spreader. We have our trifecta of Pottinger mowers and our Pottinger forage wagon, our handy dandy pick 'em up truck, and our water container. And we have 0 leased vehicles that we start out with. So let's get our gator here and take a gander and see where the reset point is. So the shop is fairly close to our farm, but we're just going to go ahead and reset this back and see where it pops up. And it pops up right here on the farm, or more correctly, across the street from the farm. As you can see here when we zoom in, that there's a road that runs across here. The farm proper is up here, and then this is a large sell point. We have some factory buildings here that we'll look at, and our reset point is basically across the street from the main farm. So let's take a look at the farm itself. So we have very large storage sheds. These look to be a bit maybe oversized. Maybe they've been expanded. They just look awful big. But at any rate, off to the side here we have our grain headers. Here we have what I suspect is a liquid fertilizer fill point. We have our tractors and our forage wagon and tippers. Here we have our two harvesters, and our corn header is snuck in here. And here we have our forage harvester with our chaff header. We have our slurry spreader over there. We have our seeders and our spreader, fertilizer spreader over here. And our mowers, and what is this? This is our plow and cultivator. So in this little shed, we have a seed refill point on the farm. And then we have two very large bunkers. These are the three-walled bunkers. And we do have mud on the map. So you'll find mud scattered around. But in my opinion, it's not overdone. I would say if you could have mud in a tasteful way, mud on this map is done in a very tasteful fashion. There's some maps where I think that the mud is a bit excessive. But on this map, I would say the mud, where you do run into mud, it's livable. So let's run on over here. As you can see, our silo system is right there. Here we have our cow liquid and solid manure spaces. So here is our silo. And we have a nice informational board on our silo here. So you can see this silo holds wheat, barley, canola, maize or corn, soybean, and sunflower. And I'm taking that these X's here, see these X's, I'm taking that represents that potato and sugar beet is not accepted at this location. And the arrows I'm implying mean that these are. So we have our dump there, and we have our fill obviously off to the side. Here we have a fuel point on the farm. We have some free-range chickens, but interesting enough, our actual chicken area is across the street here. These are just random chickens that you're going to be driving over all the time. And it looks like our farmhouse here is undergoing a bit of renovation. We've got some rubble and some dumpsters and just general junk lying around. Here we have a water fill point, a fountain for our animals. And here we have our cow area. And interesting enough, these gates do not open. There is not a trigger for these gates. So here we have our grass trough. Our water trough is right here around the corner. Right here. And this is where we buy our animals. Okay. And then over here's where we feed our, I typically call this a silage trough or a power food trough, because I typically put silage or power food in here, and I typically dump grass over where I call that a grass trough. Now the cows here have a very, very large area to roam around in. Something I really like to see on maps that are of a decent size. They have a fairly large area here to roam in, and they even have a little bit of water to dip down in. And hopefully our cows do not like to get down in the water, because as you can see, the fence basically ends here. There really isn't much keeping the cow from heading over here into the road, other than maybe their dislike or fear of water. We'll just play leap cow. All right, so that is basically the main farm here. Let's run across the street and pick up our gator, and we'll take a look at that sell point. So here we have a nice area that's been kind of carved out with gravel for basically turning in, making wide turns into this area. So this is a sell point. It looks like it's a silo, but this is a sell point. This is on the map the transport sell point, which takes all of your standard grains. There's also a manure buy area. They take silage and straw and grass as well. So this is one of your main general purpose sell points here. There's a fire hydrant over here. I have not checked to see if there's a water trigger at the fire hydrant. It appears that there is not. It's simply just a decorative item. And we have some additional storage sheds on this side of the area. And then this is just simply decoration. This is a machine shop, repair shop. You can clip through most of these things. But there isn't a customization trigger here that I have seen. So over here we have the slow soy milk, or the soy milk plant that is open during only specific hours of the day. And in this, if you've not seen it before, this is where you tip in your soybeans. So your soybean in goes there. You'll put water here, okay, and diesel fuel is your third input, which goes right here, okay. And as this factory runs, you get 3 output products. You get milk, just standard milk, okay. You get slurry, or liquid manure. I'm not really sure, but anyway, you get it there. And you get pig food out of there. Okay, so a good way of making pig food is to make soy milk. Now, from an economic standpoint, I never have really fully understood. There's also some very interesting animations that happen. So if you ever run this facility, it would be it's always cool to walk in here and kind of check it out. This facility also probably has working hours, and you notice that this door is clippable. So at certain hours, these outside doors will close, okay, on their own. So if you should happen to be so unfortunate as to find yourself stuck in the building, this is your exit. And we have a fuel point there on the side of the building. So over here we have our compostMaster. And if you're not familiar with the compostMaster, you put bio material in here. It can pretty much be anything. It could be manure, grass, hay, straw. Let's basically see what this says. So it includes potatoes, sugar beet, chaff, silage, grass, hay, straw, wood chips, manure, and in theory you could run compost back through this, possibly. I've never tried myself, but in theory you could do that. So in addition to those materials, you need to put diesel fuel here. And just so that you know, you're going to need something like the Cote Universal Pack or the AR truck and frame that has a fuel trailer. You will not be able to use the in-game fuel Bowser to fuel this up. And your compost will pile up here, but you will actually be able to get it out of this spout around back. So you would actually pull around back and pull under this and get your compost that way. And then this area also has a forage or a power food TMR machine. So here you would dump silage, straw, grass or hay, and you would get power food out over here. And these screens would light up and basically tell you what was going on. So let's jump in our gator and start taking a look around the map. Alright, so let's go ahead and come out here and make our way over to the shop. But before we do that, let's swing over and check out our chicks, our chickens. Okay, so here's our chickens. So this is where the eggs will spawn, I assume. Oh, they're in here. I really hope that this isn't too terrible bad to find chicken eggs. It'd be really nice if they, that doesn't work. It'd be really nice if they spawned, like right here, where there's no real grass. Or over here, where there really isn't any grass, because sometimes I have a hard time finding the eggs in the grass here. Jump on our trampoline. Alright, so let's spin around here. And I think, yes, we need to go down this road here to get to our shop. Alright, so here is our shop, where we definitely have a customization buyback icon, which is over here. So here's the buyback and customization point. It's not marked on the trigger, but I assume it's going to be right here. Let's take a look. Okay, it's not there. Maybe it's back, maybe it's there. Let's see if it's there. Alright, so there you go. So it's over here. And then your shop icon in there if that's where you want to go and buy your stuff, or of course you can just jump on in the shop anytime you want. So let's go ahead and check out this field. So we do have missions on the map, and field 5 is 2.66 hectares at $215,000. Let's take a look and see. Oops, wrong button. So here's field 5. It's a modest sized field, but it is by no means the largest. It's not really the smallest either, but it's one of the smaller fields. We'll go up here and check out this area. Field 3 appears to be fairly large. Field 30 is large. 28. I think 30 might be bigger than field 28. But we'll check out field 3 once we get up there. So this map has lots of these little kind of country roads here that kind of just cut between the fields, which to some degree make merging fields a bit, possibly a bit of a challenge, or just not possible at all. And then we have lots of these not so friendly trees to the tree harvester. So there in the background, you can see there's one of the forestry areas, and this is your animal buy point if you wish to purchase animals and transport them. You have to come up on this ramp to do that. And there's some manure sell point there, and it looks like this whole area is walled off, so the only way you're getting to the animal buy point is the road that I just took us up. Let's see, does that have a trigger at all? No, that is just a shed. So basically this road is just for the animal buy point, and of course access to these other fields. So overall, this map is fairly flat. When I was looking through here earlier, I did find a couple little elevation increases in the forestry area, but overall it's a flat map. And I assume that this area maybe is fairly flat in real life. So let's go on up here, and we'll make a right, and we'll go on up and check out those sell points. Here we have our gas station. So our cows are there on our left. So I will caution you that if you should decide to continue driving off the edge of these roads, you will plummet to your death and have to reset your vehicle. So here is our egg buy point at the garden center. They also buy manure. Looks like we have a fill point for seed and fertilizer here. And there's a compost sell point. Alright, we've got one more sell point up here. And this is for wood chips. So here we have some mud. Pretty big mud there, and there's our wood chip sell point. And we have a fairly dense forestry area here. So there is no lack of trees to cut here. I like how these trees are kind of planted lower in the ground, because the branches are, you know, right there where you are, versus that looks pretty weird there, the corner of the map. But I like how these trees are planted low because oftentimes these pine trees, you see they don't have branches really up for a fair bit of their trunk, but the mod author has sunk some of these trees down into the ground so that so the branches are right there at ground level. So I think that's an interesting and nice touch. All right. So I said we would check out the field price of field 3, which is right up here on our right. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, there's some mud. Alrighty. So field 3 is 11.38 hectares at $921,000. So 11.38. Let's see if we can manage to remember that number, which for me during these map videos is sometimes a bit of a challenge. So here's field 20. This is a field that we own. It's a nice sized field. There's some mud. Right, and there we have a river, or stream, or creek, whatever you want to call it. I wonder where we're going to be able to cross at. I wonder if we can just drive through. Oh, that mud really does affect your traction. Alright, oops. Hey, the pole just came out and jumped in front of me. Alright, so all we have down south are fields. We're going to go over here and jump on this road and make our way across the map to the pig area. Okay. So there's a little bit of a drive here, but we'll just take a look at the scenery. Get rid of that, make it smaller. It's kind of got a little windy road here. And we're coming up to our one of our large grass fields. We'll just go around the mud on this one. So this is our large grassy field. Very large area here. We should be able to get lots of nice grass off of this for our cows and our sheep, as well as possibly for the BGA. Now, something I don't know is if there's only one exit on this thing. And you know what? It appears that the only way out of this is the way in. So let's make our way back across real quick. So there's a couple poles, power towers, I'll call them, in our grass area. So it's not really going to be a kind of automated set it and forget it mode job. You're going to have to pay a bit of attention. Whoa, to get this field mode. So here we have a cell point where it's just kind of an offshoot of the road. This might be a little hard to come in with a really large trailer. There's our cell point, and we come out here, and we have a little bit of a notch on here on the other side to kind of make your turn, to get turned around. But again, I don't know if you're going to be able to do that in a large semi-trailer. Let's keep on keeping it on. So our potato cell point is coming up here on our left, as well as a straw, grass, and hay buy point. We'll go ahead and jump on in those. So this is the buy point for hay, straw, and grass. We'll get out and take a look. Right there is your triggers for the hay, straw, and grass area. And now we'll go down here to our potato buy point. So we have scaled away our particular vehicle. And where do we dump our potatoes at? Let's see. Well, that is definitely not where we dump potatoes. That's just... It's not around back here. That would be silly. Ah, here we are. So this is where we would bring our trailer to sell our potatoes. I don't think there's one in here, is there? Nope. Just on the other side of the shed. Alright, let's go up and buy us some piggies. So, an interesting thing to know is don't turn in there. Don't go in there. Don't go in there. You'll find yourself stuck. This is the road for the pigs. So it's a pretty standard FS17 pig joint. That's where we put our straw. We have our water trough here. We have some storage building there. We put our feed there. Our buy point is there. And we have liquid and solid manure there. And we have a water fountain there. That's nice for our water needs. Let's buy us some piggies. There's our pigs. Just hanging out. So something else to note here is there is a pig food machine here where you would bring in and put. Now, I don't know which one does which. They're not labeled. That's nice. But one of these takes corn and possibly soybeans. One of these takes wheat or barley. And one of these takes potatoes or sugar beets. And in the end, you get this very nice pig food out of this spout. So, what's depressing about this is unless it's on the other side, unlike the TMR machine, there isn't an information screen. Oh, there it is. Okay, so we have earth, fruits, cereals, and proteins, and we get pig forage, pig food out of it there. Alright. So our BGA is right across the street, basically. So let's go take a look at that. So there's a break in the fence here. And this is your access road into the BGA. We have our nice scale. It's nicely recessed in the ground. There's no jump or bump there. We have our bunkers, of course. We have our digestate fill point here. And we have our Silo King over here along the side. Okay, so it's just a pretty standard Farm Sim 17 BGA setup. Alright, and we have a nice forested area here to to work with. Now this particular road is an access road into the forestry area. Okay, and if we go on here, if we go off-road a little bit, you'll see there's some little random bumps over there as far as the terrain goes. That's pretty much the only variation in terrain. Here we have a nice little clearing. This could be kind of a staging area for your cutting of your logs, and we have two nice log racks kind of here in the map for you to just place logs, maybe while you're waiting on the truck. And then back here, back reset in the forestry area, is this nice little old house with a really nice pond here in the back. Just a nice little place to be. There we got a floating tree, but overall it's a nice little, there's another floating tree. It's a nice little place to be. Clearly the fairies and the tree elves are out here because they've managed to levitate some trees with their awesome kung fu magic. So let's get back out on the main road, and if we go up a little bit more to the north, we'll get to our sawmill. So overall, I think this is a really nice, attractive map. It would be a map that I would be interested in playing in if I was looking for a map. Of course, it does have, you know, for us non-Dutch. I don't know if this is Dutch or if this is German. As far as some of these sell points, I mean, most of the sell points are English, but you know, this one, I'm not really sure if that's French or Dutch. And some of the information screens. But overall, it's a really nice map. It's not really complex. It's not confusing. There's not a whole bunch of industry going on to really make you not really know what the heck to do. So here we have a pretty much standard FS17 sawmill. Wood chips here. Log sales around the back. And you have a log pond. So here's our log sale point. We have a log pond if we just want to back our logs into there. And we do have a crane. This railroad track is just here for show. There aren't any actual trains here. And let's see. I guess this is where you would drop. You see a box here. I suspect this is where you'd drop your logs if you were going to sell them with the crane. Now the crane's kind of dropped here onto the tracks. I haven't tested this. I'm guessing the crane works. It's just, yep, the crane works. It's just, how do I raise it? Okay. Well, maybe the crane doesn't work. I can go that way. I can go that way. That way. That's not doing anything. Let's do this. Alright, so the crane really doesn't work. So don't try to use the crane. Alrighty. Now, let's go ahead and go on down south. Whoops. So down south we have our spinnery, we have another sell point, and we have our sheep area. And then we have our couple of our fields are down there. And a couple other fields we'll just check out in general. For example, fields 16, 15, and 14, they look like they're really good candidates to be merged, as well as fields 29, 28, 25, and 24. But you're going to find when we go down there that that maybe merging those is not really going to be the best idea. So I don't think this is a 4x map. I think this is just a standard size map based on how long it takes for us to get around here. So while we're down here, let's check out the field price and the size on field 30. I know field 3, I think, was 11 point something in size. So here we have our spinnery, or wool sell point. And we have another sell point right here. Our Lendenhall, or however you pronounce it, sell point right through here. And then this is how we get into our other grass field. Right here is our other grass field. Okay. So let's go over here and check out field 3. Field 30. I guess it's across the river. So we'll just run over here. So field 30 is 11.15. So field 30 is smaller than field 3 was. Alrighty then. So we've got a small wooded area there on our right, and our sheep is right here. Here's our sheep area. So here is our wool spawn point. Our wool point is our wool spawn point should be right here if this is truly stock Farm Sim 17 sheep. We have a fairly large animal buy point. And then around here we have our grass and water troughs. And let's see if we have a water fountain anywhere around here, kind of like we had at the other animal areas. Yeah, I didn't see a water fountain over here. Of course, we have the river that we could probably back down into. But I'm not seeing water for the sheep. At least a water fountain nearby the sheep area. Alrighty. So let's see here. Let's go in. Here's the road to access field 36, which is the field that we own. So the field we're in right here is field 36. And you'll see there's a couple of these trees that you would have to clear in order to merge field 36 and 37 together. But beyond that, there really isn't much keeping you from doing that. Let's jump over here and take a look at Fields 29 and 28. I think we'll have to go across the river again. So field 28 is right there to our left. Okay. And field 29 is right there to our left now. So this road, this little bumpy road here just to my right, that cannot be plowed. I tried. You can plow to the left and right of that, but you cannot plow the road because it's a placed object. It's not a painted object. So that's going to prevent you from merging these two fields, is this nice road that's in between them. So let's check out field 28. So field 28 is 9.49 hectares in size. So that basically tells me that, and 4.1. So basically this is telling me that field 3 is the largest field on the map that we do not own. I don't think 23 is bigger than 3. 20 is definitely not bigger than 3. So I think 3 is the big boy there as far as fields on this map. And I promised that we would see why we really can't merge these 3 fields together. And we're going to jump in our gator and take a look at that. And then we'll call this video and this map done. So there's some mud. There's some mud. We got some other mud up here in the road where we've got some kind of like a creek or a little pond off to the side. So let me know, guys, do you like this map? What do you think? Is this a map that you would consider playing for yourself? So here's where we got some mud. We've got this water here, and we've got some mud kind of up here along the road, kind of where the, in theory, the little pond would be keeping the road muddy. So here we have fields 16 and 15, and again we've got this nice bumpy road here that we cannot plow, preventing us. Here we have some mud in the field. It's not too bad. The mud in the fields aren't too bad. This field is, these two fields are split by these trees, and I don't think these trees work very well with the forage harvester or the tree harvester. So to clear these trees, you're really just cutting them up and delimbing them by hand. So that's kind of a pain. So merging these two fields is probably going to be a pain in the tail to do. But let me know if this is a map you got, guys, that you all would like to play or would consider playing. Let me know if you like this video. If you haven't subscribed, please go ahead and click the subscribe button. Oh, let me show you one thing before we go. Please go ahead and click the subscribe button. I also have 2 Let's Play series. I do a Let's Play series on Serenity Valley, and I do a Let's Play series on Cherry Hills. And then while you're at it, if you don't mind checking out the couple of the description below, where we have a link to the map. If there's several YouTube guys down there, they all do a really great job at doing videos. They all have various styles of gameplay that are different than my particular style of gameplay, and I enjoy watching each and every one of them. So I encourage you to check them out. I encourage you to check out one of the best web communities on the planet, and that is the PCSG community. The guys and gals over there are into anything and everything farm sim, and truck sim, flight sim, train sim. They're into all the sim stuff. So if you're into sim, you might want to check them out. They do scheduled weekly multiplayer live streams, and anyone that's a PCSG member is more than welcome to join and participate in the live stream. As far as gameplay, I think on Fridays they do one map, farm sim. On Saturdays they do another map on farm sim, and I think on Sunday afternoons they do truck, Euro truck, And American Truck Sim, I think they alternate which week they do which on that. And then lastly, there's another really great community out there called the Three Dudes Gaming Network. 3dudes.com, 3dudesgaming.com, and there's a link to that in my description. And at that, I am a 3Dudes media partner, media member, which basically means that I do YouTube videos and have a media zone on that website. And on that media zone, I will post weekly an exclusive early access video for 3Dudes members only. So if that's something that you want to check out, please give them a check. So I wanted to show you that this map has some unique, some custom corn textures. So this is not your standard in-game corn texture. And also, what I was kind of focusing on there for a little bit is randomly around the map are these little hanky-panky, not really outhouses, but what do you call these things? Porta potties. So there's just random hanky-panky porta potties just scattered around the map, and I just thought that was funny. You know, of course, if you're out farming these fields and you've got to go, you got to have some place to go. So you may be wanting to have a little porta potty to jump into. In the real world, you'd probably just jump off the tractor and kind of squat around the rear tire to do your business. So until next time, guys, happy farming.